Hey, g'day everybody, it's Jack here from FullALT. Got some fantastic news coming your way. It's in reference to not only the proposal but also to the blockchain. You may recall the last video and the last post that we issued where we talked about the hard fork, the coming hard fork, which is reference this post here, the next Hive hard fork, and FullALT reference gratuities, where that was only 4 days ago, so we won't hold it against you. I haven't seen it yet. Um, the reason we love it is because over the past months, almost half a year now, it's been talked about and worked on full on by the core dev team to include gratuities. Exactly what Hive Tips and Hive Patron is all about. Gratuities. A real world marketplace with real world services, real world needs. And yes, it's now being hard coded. Well, recurring payment, as we could say it technically, but the patron type of feature is also being hard coded into the chain. That's wonderful. Hive is expanding its frontiers as far as the usage of the two native currencies that we have, and possibly even other currencies in the future. Sub tokens, layer 2 tokens. But I'll just read this little part here out. Oh, and there is another huge reason why we are looking forward to the next hard fork on Hive. But we'll leave that for another time and place, as it is of a different nature to the changes listed above. Well, the time has come to mention those, because this is another time and another place, and it's all mentioned right here from yesterday's Hive Core Developer Meeting. If we start from about 15 minutes and 30 second-ish.
Thing.
Okay.
So yeah. Then there was a discussion, I think it was 2 meetings ago, where we discussed the idea to have a proposal with a cutoff amount, which would allow to be.
That's what that one was. Okay.
to
I don't know what the issue was on Reddit.
Yeah, reading it, I was like, what did I mean? But yeah, the idea is to do what Hive Tips did, but in a more trustless way. And like I spent a tiny
Guess
bit
who
of time
put that idea forwards?
through, and
I won't name anybody.
implementation hurdles that I'm having is that how do you store the amount of money that was already paid out? And so I think the only way to backfill the data would be to, during the hard fork 25, like run through every proposal and fill that in retrospectively. And I wonder if there is a better way to do it. I don't think so.
Wait, so I mean, you're talking about for pre the hard fork? Oh, you're talking about? I mean, this would only kick in for new proposals, right? This wouldn't be anything for old proposals.
Oh,
right.
Well, yeah, but then my.
Okay, now you heard that part. If you're listening closely, it only kicks in for new proposals, and here comes the reason why.
Train of thought.
Are you talking about somebody has an update feature to?
Yeah, exactly. I was like, well, I'm doing update. Might as well also allow to update the cutoff amounts. So that, like, for instance, Hive Tips can update their proposal and be like, yeah, by the way, we'll do it. And then front ends will be able to like display a little thing, and it'll look like better.
Okay.
Hive Tips won't have like marketing issues.
I mean, I guess you could just have it fail for proposals older than a certain time, unless you want it to work for. Unless you're, I guess, one of the goals is to make it work for old proposals.
Oh, that's a good point. Yeah, because the alternative is really it's gonna make
it sounds like
the
a
time.
mess.
Yeah, so the replay will last forever.
Yeah, I question whether it's worth supporting old proposals enough to make the mess in the code for that.
Yeah, let me quickly.
Not only a mess. Mr. Block Trades there was being very nice about that. That could cause a lot of problems for everybody. So we don't want to see that happen. The idea of putting the option in there to have cutoffs, meaning a fixed amount. So if it's 10 weeks of, if it's, I don't know, 10 grand's worth of funds are needed, and it can be funded, and the work has been done, or it's trustless, meaning that it's guaranteed to be done, and we know that it can be guaranteed to be done, or whatever the case may be. We're adding an extra feature here where the proposal can have a fixed amount of 10 grand, and the funding can be 2 grand a day if the funds in the DHF allow for that. Don't forget, the DHF is there to be utilized. It's not there to be just sitting there and losing value due to inflation. It's there to be utilized, to build upon the chain, to help build the chain, to help better the chain, to help expand Hive into new arenas, to help build demand. And it has to be diverse. That's why it is there. It's not there just for one thing. It's not there just for one small group of people. It's not there just for one niche. It's there for all of Hive. And it has to be utilized. Otherwise, we're going to start stagnating again, and we'll be back to where Steam was when Stink was running Steam. That's why we have the DHF. That's why it is decentralized. And adding options in there, such as a cutoff amount, so that it can be utilized in a more efficient manner, that is excellent. Options are good, as an old wise man once said. Well, maybe a silly man too, but old man. That much I do know. Old in more ways than one, apart from age, maybe. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. But you get the point. Point is, adding options to the chain. Now, we've proven the point that this option is a good option, that this option can be utilized in a proactive and constructive manner. Don't forget the DHF is decentralized. Now, there is only one issue with the word trustless. It's a proof of stake, or delegated proof of stake. It's a proof of stake blockchain. So there's always a trust factor there. It's a trust factor that is based upon those who hold the stake. It can be you with X amount of Hive, or it can be person C or D in future or currently who may have 100 or 1,000 or 100,000 times the Hive that you have staked. So again, it's never trustless in its entirety because it's a proof of stake blockchain. It's a proof of stake ecosystem. So there's always a trust factor there in the actual individuals who hold the stake. But apart from that trust factor, the rest of it is now becoming more and more trustless. How does this affect our proposal? Well, it means that our proposal will have to be split up into two proposals. One pre-HF and one after the HF. The one that is pre-HF will be 100% trustless because it will include 2020, which is all completed and paid for, as well as Q1 of 2021, and that by the time it gets to the point of final payout will be also well over completed. So there's no question there. However, we will reference the original proposal. We will use the same document here. We'll just make sure that the the funding part is defined, right? And phase 2, Q2, Q3, and Q4 of phase 2 of 2021 will be a separate proposal issued after the HF with a cut-off amount on there for the exact amount of the proposal, because that will be possible at that stage. So no matter how much under or over the pre-HF proposal is of the exact cent figure, I'm not worried about cents or dollars. I'm worried about getting the exact figure at the end of the day completed to the dollar as stated. We can do that 100% guaranteed after the HF and totally trustless, 100% guaranteed, hard-coded. So all those people out there who've been yelling and screaming and shedding all sorts of disinformation out there about 1.4 million, etc., who obviously have not read the proposal, who don't have a clue what they're talking about. They're just waffling on and spreading disinformation for whatever stupid agenda they may have in their small minds. They will be put in their place now. And you just heard it. You just heard it from the core dev meeting itself. If you don't believe me, go there. I'll put the link in the description of this video. Hear it for yourself. And it was us pushing for it. It was us asking for it. Now that also proves what I mentioned a few weeks ago when I retired as a witness. I stated very clearly, anybody and everybody can put forward notions that are constructive, proactive, and possible. Now, again, when I say possible, it doesn't mean that they're not impossibility or possibility. It just means, can it be done now practically? Can it be incorporated into a HF at this point in time practically? Yes or no? I mean, there's 101 wishes out there. Stink left a huge mess behind itself. Let's get real. There are things that can be done now for the better of Hive. There are things that should be done in the future for the better of Hive. But not everything can be done right now, because if it's attempted, what will happen is we'll get a great big mess. Not everything that will be done in the future will incorporate things that were included before. Just like with this new edition here, it cannot include the proposal submitted to date or prior to the HF. Why? Because it will cause too many complications in the code. It will make life a living hell. And it also runs the risk of possibly even freezing the chain. Who knows? I won't say that as a definite fact, but there's always a possibility there. And we all know what happens when that happens. We don't want that to happen, do we? So let's get real. We have to get real and understand that our wishes are one thing, possibilities are another thing, and that they can be implemented step by step. But as you can see, everything's being done publicly, everything's being discussed publicly. This meeting was live online. Anybody who has access to YouTube can watch this, can partake in the discussion via the chat. So this is wonderful. This is fantastic. This is beautiful. This is bloody marvelous, mate. This is above and beyond anything that was imaginable while on the old Steam chain. Much more than what we ever thought would be possible on Steam. That's for sure. And when people ask me, why did I quit as a witness? Well, there it is. The things that led me to be a witness, the things that in many ways inspired me to take the challenge on of pushing forwards what people are saying and trying to get that through to those top 20 back in the day, and to, well, I won't say stink, but we'll say stink, but the whole governance. Well, if you haven't noticed, that's now a reality. That everything that motivated me is no longer there. It's done. It's achieved. I'm satisfied. I can find out things along with everybody else out there. Why? Because it's all live. It's real time. I don't need to be any super secret Slack like on Steam. Literally. Why? Because it's all public. It's transparent. It's all being done live, on air. So, is anybody at an advantage if they're in some meeting room where technical things are being discussed? I'm not worried about the waffling that goes on anywhere or in every type of meeting room. There's always going to be noise everywhere you turn. There's always noise. But that noise is irrelevant. What is relevant is being discussed publicly, is being put forwards publicly, is being transmitted and relayed to the public, to the community, as we like to say, totally, openly, transparently, live, real time. I'm happy. I'm happy as a person on this blockchain who saw what it was like back in the day and sees what it is now. I'm happy. I'm satisfied. And I'm even more satisfied that two of our notions and two things that we've been working on as FullALT are coming to life in hard code, meaning they're going to be put into the chain, hard coded. Not second layer, not third layer, into the actual chain itself. Well, we'll just say it. First layer, there we go. The mother chain, the main chain. That's a huge success. That's a wonderful, huge success. So all that negativity that was spread about, go suck on rotten eggs, all those people that were spreading all that negativity out there. Well, anyway, that's wonderful news. And we'll work with that and make sure that we don't put Hive, our chain, at any risk. We'll make sure that we play the game properly, fairly, and why wouldn't we? I mean, damn, everything we've done is for the good of Hive. Without a doubt. We introduced a patron feature, a recurring payment feature, into Hive Tips via your browsers, which is totally and utterly 100% decentralized. It's you, your browser on your computer that you've installed, right? The extension that you've installed on your computer with a mini database and a mini server in your browser on your computer, talking with the chain. End of story. There's no middleman. There's no FullALT. There's no A, B, or C. No, it's just you and the chain. Now you'll have an added option, which we've discussed also in that last post that I showed earlier, right there. We're going to include that as well, because don't forget, when something's hard-coded, it's fixed in its way. It's not flexible. Well, it's not flexible enough. It's like a smart contract. There's no going left or right from it. So, and the good thing about soft contracts, as we call them, custom JSONs on Hive, is that they can be used in a way to adjust to the needs of each and every platform that we tokenize with Hive, monetize with Hive, and Hive-backed dollars. So there it is. Wonderful news, great news. What more can I say? Hive is alive. You'll have a good one.